All right, what's up? What's up? What's up? So, yo, check it, right? I almost didn't do this video because when I first seen it, I was like, wait a minute. Like, it didn't register. But I don't want to be ignorant, and I also don't want to be like, you know what I'm saying, shooting nobody down because of what they propose. So, I did some research before I decided to do the video, and there are actually more people out there who are saying that they have their midhaven in the ninth house or their midhaven in the 11th house and things of that nature. I'm just expressing what I was taught and how I was taught is that despite which housing system you use, and there are several, the angular points are always the same. They're always going to be first, fourth, seventh, and 10th. Always. That's how I was taught, though. You know what I mean? But again, I'm not going to be ignorant about this. I'm going to open my mind. And obviously, there are other people out there who are faced with the same type of situation. I don't know how people are coming up with this calculation. Now, the most that I could think of, because it defeats the purpose if the angular points are not at the first, the fourth, the seventh, and the 10th. It just defeats the whole purpose. So the only thing that I could think of from the way I was taught in my experience is that perhaps you're using a system that, well, this is what happens if you use different systems from the one that I use. I use Placitas, but this is what can happen. The degrees and the minutes can change in the intermediate houses, which is the second, the third, the fifth, the sixth, the eighth, the ninth, the 11th, and the 12th. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, and I know like some planets can shift from where they would normally be in one house system. They can shift to another place based on using a different house system. Those are the things that I know. But like I said, like I done seen Reddit threads and stuff like that. I did some research and stuff before I did the video, so I'm gonna do it nonetheless. Besides, I told you, you know what I'm saying? Ask me and I'll deliver. So I'm keeping my word on that as well. You know what I'm saying? No question is a stupid question. I personally would like to know which house system you use when you calculated your natal chart. And this goes for everybody who's watching this video, to get either a midhaven in the ninth house or a midhaven in the 11th house instead of the 10th. And let's teach each other, you heard? So I still got some game though, just in case. You know what I mean? So this is what I would say. Based upon your calculation, right? I'd say straight up focus on the ninth house then. Because if you have a calculation that says that your midhaven is going to be the ninth house, then ignore your 10th house, at least for now, and focus on what ninth house. So look at the houses as classrooms, all right? So look at the ninth house as a classroom. And the ninth house is going to produce a result, a classroom that produces results when the student performs, right? So ninth house rules over publishing, it rules over in-laws, it rules over judges, courts, it rules over divorce, all types of litigations and stuff like that. It deals with long distance travel. It rules over travel agencies and stuff like that. So think that way. Literature, different cultures. What else? It rules over religion. It rules over higher education. All right. So all of those ninth house constructs, focus on that and do the work in those areas. Also reflect on times that you've done work in those areas and think about what type of results they produced, so you can determine whether it resonates with you being recognized for ninth house. When I say produce results, I mean being recognized for it, obtaining status in those ninth house categories. And if you have, that means it resonates with you. So keep going. That's what I would say. Keep going. You know what I mean? At the same time, let's say I would also recommend that you try other housing systems when you plug in your birth information to the natal chart calculators, and play with some different charts, and also see if one of those charts does produce a natal chart for you that has the midhaven inside of the 10th house. All right. And compare and contrast, see if there's any difference. But this is a key component that you can't leave out. The sign of the house is the student. So these are the expressions that the student must express in order to obtain the result that the classroom is expecting from the student. Meaning all of those ninth house constructs that I described, you have to utilize the expression of whatever sign is there. I didn't obtain that from you in the comment section, but and this goes for everybody who's watching. Look at the sign that's in your ninth house so you can understand in more detail of how to produce that, right? Because you might not be getting the results, the recognition, and the status that you want. Maybe that's why you proposing the question, like, what's going on with my Midheaven? It's over here and I don't see it. You know what I mean? So you have to perform those expressions of the sign. So although the ninth house rules over Sagittarius, it doesn't necessarily mean to express yourself like a Sagittarius. Those things will come after you produce the manifestation of the actions of the sign. So you could have Aries inside of the ninth house, right? You could have Taurus inside of the ninth house, and you might, do upholstery or something like that. Work with your hands in some type of way that's artsy, you know what I mean? Some do-it-yourself projects and stuff like that. And next thing you know, you get a pitch from someone overseas that says, no one does it like you. Can you come over and teach their rich children, or whatever the case may be, how to do it? Or teach a class even. That would be even more in line with ninth house. Like they want you to fly overseas to teach a class on how you built some or reupholstered some furniture and did some interior decorating or some Taurus artsy type shit. That would be like a example of Taurus being in the ninth house and gaining you recognition and status for what it is that you do. You'll be known for that. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, I would use another calculator and compare and contrast. Some other chart out there is going to have to produce a chart for you that produces your Midheaven in the 10th house. Again, like I said, I use Placidus. You can try that one out and see what happens. I think maybe you using, because first when I seen it, I'm like, what is it? Because even in looking at the Reddit threads, I'm like, what is it? The unequal houses? You know what I mean? Like, not the system, but the unequal houses or the equal houses. I know apart from the equal house system, the minutes and the degrees don't move. But for the most part, from what I know, all of the charts produce the angular points at the same places. But yeah, compare and contrast and see if you get different results. Here's another key that you could take with you too. Whatever you do in the Midheaven house, wherever it lands, it's going to produce results in the next house over. When I say results, I mean along the lines of materialistic results. All right. Most people are looking for that, especially when they're in the vein of doing what they do for a career. Sometimes when it comes to the Midheaven and the 10th house, the Midheaven, I'm gonna just keep it like Midheaven. I don't want to distort this. So when it comes to the Midheaven, right, it's like you don't necessarily. This is something that you would do if you wasn't getting paid. It would be lovely to be paid, but you'd still be doing it without being paid because this is what you're appointed to be known for. So it kind of works that way. Like you'll be doing your thing, and whatever you're known for, all of a sudden, the next house over is where you obtain the material results from that, the revenue, the income, because it's a formula in astrology to where whatever you do in the first house, 2 houses over, but you count the first house, 1, 2. The second house in astrology fundamentally means materialistic attitude and resources, personal resources. So that formula always applies in astrology. When you go 2 houses over, this is where you're going to find an income from what you're doing in the previous house. So whatever you're doing there also reflect on that. Have you made income in a house over? You would want to look at the sign as well and look at the house over, because in case it still doesn't resonate when you look at whatever sign is in your 9th house, then look at your 10th house and say, oh yeah, I did make some money over there, this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? That's the most I can do right now. Get in the comment section. This goes for any and everybody that has come across something like this, astrologers and occult scientists as well. Get in, chime in, and like I said, let's teach each other. You heard? I'm out. Oh, one more thing. Look at the ruling planet of the house that your midheaven had landed on. All right. And what you'll find is that planet will give you instruction on how to express whatever sign it's in so that you can bring the manifestation into play. Look at the ruler of the sign, though. Look at the ruler of the sign. Whatever sign you got in the ninth house, look at that. And then again, reflect to see, oh, okay, I see how that resonates with me expressing myself that way, and it brought me recognition or status or power in some type of way. All right, let me know.